Hey guys, and welcome to Film Study, where we analyze films in various ways to make you see it in a different concept, and change a part of a scene and figure out how the rest of the story would play out based on a single change in one scene. Like what would happen if Zuko didn't join the other side, and where Boo would be in a potential sequel to Pixar's Monsters, Inc. Both videos found in the description below.
Hello there. What's the matter?
You're my favorite deputy. You got a friend in me.
Don't you remember me?
Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health?
We all love Disney movies, right? I mean, time and time again, it feels like when they release a new movie, whether it's from Disney themselves or Pixar, there isn't a second thought as to if this one will be a for sure hit, which time and time again, they seem to never miss a beat. So how is this possible for a film franchise to always be successful with every single idea they come up with without fail? I wanted to explore today how Disney does this strategy starting from way back when it was born. Walt Disney himself was passionate about every single project of his and thought long and hard before anything became finalized. Even in today's age, when we see the original Steamboat Willie from 1928, we recognize it as an original art form from Walt Disney himself. After Disney's death, everyone around him pushed to fulfill the rest of his dream, to open a clean and organized amusement park, of which ended up happening. The key to this was clean and organized. Today, there are set rules around how the park functions. For one, they live by their motto, which is the happiest place on earth for Disneyland, a place for fun that is not directed at any particular age. In order to keep the magic at the park, little things like cast members needing to change out of their uniform before leaving the premises or having to always have a positive attitude on the job, there's also the reputation that they hold true to set rules at all times, like not using one finger to point for directions as it could be considered rude to guests, and not calling yourself an employee but a cast member to keep the magic separate from the real world to the castle. Moving on to the film side of things, part of Disney's success stems from having two distinct animation arms. Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar are separate studios that produce enough content that Disney can typically have between 2 to 3 animated releases each year. The original trailer for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs released on February 4th, 1938. Disney's wife at the time, Lillian, warned him that audiences, especially adults, wouldn't sit through a feature-length cartoon fantasy about dwarves. But Disney put his future on the line, borrowing most of the $1.5 million that he used to make the film. Snow White then premiered in Hollywood on December 21st, 1937, earning a standing ovation. When it was released to the public the following February, the film quickly grossed to $8 million, surpassing any other film made during the Great Depression. Critics were virtually unanimous admiration for Snow White. Charlie Chaplin, who attended the Hollywood premiere, told the Los Angeles Times that the film even surpassed our high expectations.
How long was Snow White in production, Walt?
I actually started to plan the picture about 1935, and I fooled around with it trying to get a hold of a story and things for a couple of years, and finally it began to gel. Then I went to work on it, and I finished it the fall of 1938.
So why were people so attached to this very long animated feature film that stars a princess and 7 dwarves? Believe it or not, Disney's Snow White was actually not original. At least it wasn't an original idea. The inspiration for Disney's Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs came from the 1812 German fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. The story follows the eponymous Princess Snow White, who runs into trouble when an evil, power-hungry queen marries her father and tries to kill her out of vanity. Sounds just like the story we all know, right? Well, the difference between this story and Disney's is the poison apple being a half and half apple. Half poison and the other half not. The amount of time she is in the glass coffin in Snow White's revival, and believe it or not, the entire story was actually inspired by a true story happening in 1533. The point being, with Disney's touch on this story, it allowed it to be an original story, something that we are still entertained by to this day. He gave a new touch to it, something no one else has ever seen before, animation. Because not only was the franchise of Disney an idea, but as a business and strive for it to be known as a business, with his main goal of not only inspiring others, but the energy and positivity not only coming from him, but put into the franchise, hence Disneyland having their slogan, happiest place on earth. Another reason why Disney has become so successful and true is because they don't take unsolicited material or spec scripts. stories that haven't had any recognition to the film industry. It even clearly states on the website that it is our company's policy not to accept unsolicited submissions of creative material, including but not limited to scripts, artwork, and product prototypes. Even OWAs, open writing assignments or a pitch is not something Disney does coming from the public. The diverse characters, stories, and points of view are part of the reason that one media analyst with over 27 years of experience feels like there isn't any Disney fatigue in the marketplace. The company, which has 2 animation studios, has vastly outperformed its competitors, luring audiences to theaters in droves to see new stories and sequels to franchise titles. Disney's brand, reputation, stellar storytelling, and emotional resonance has kept it at the top of the box office. They are careful about their sequels and take their time and make sure it doesn't appeal to audiences as if it's just a cheap way to get money, with them not needing to create new characters from scratch. Even with having 3 sequels to Toy Story, many people were excited to see it because they knew that even though the characters would be reused, it's a different story every time with a storyline that we're not expecting. Pete Docter, an animator and producer at Pixar Studios, even spoke about sequels, saying they don't write sequels unless they know for sure the character stories can be broadened. At the end of Toy Story 3, that was the end of Andy's story, not Woody's. So they were able to create a 4th sequel without reusing too much of one character, even though for people who have grown up with Andy from 1995 to 2010, we wouldn't have minded seeing Andy one more time as an adult.
So long, partner.
This is one way they were able to bring back these characters with new challenges. They also follow strict rules when it comes to creating any kind of story, having a checklist, and if not all are checked off, they know the story will fail. These rules include keeping the audience interested for a good reason, trying for a theme is important, but you won't see what the story is actually about till you're at the end of it. Toy Story 4 originally featured a far different ending. Bo Peep connects with a kid and Woody is forced to give her up. Recognizing that Woody's journey requires him to change, the storytellers decided that this lacked emotional resonance, therefore necessitating a change where Woody leaves his friends for Bo and a new life. This ending changes the theme of the film, Woody learning about letting go and finding a new course in life. A majority of Pixar's magic lies in its characters, and they always feel real and complex because the writers give each of them an opinion. The secrets to Disney storytelling stem from the setting, understanding fully what world the story takes place in, defining the problem, getting over reluctance, and learning from failure. Even the CEO of DreamWorks follow these rules very closely. That is why they are a close competitor and why no one else even comes close. According to Katzenberg, here are the 3 ingredients for great storytelling: passion, uniqueness, and originality, and failure. This is what it all boils down to. By creating an environment in which failure is not seen as negative, but rather as inevitable, storytellers can experiment and try new things when crafting stories without fear. Katzenberg says stories that are unique and original are inherently risky because they push boundaries that have never been pushed before. In the end, this will help lead you to new and exciting stories. Another portion comes from the research and development of every film.
The Animation Research Library is the repository for all the original artwork that was created for both the short and feature-length animated films from the 1920s, so from the very beginning up until present day. In this facility, we have many climate-controlled vaults, and within those vaults we have an estimated 65 million pieces of original animation artwork. So you're talking story sketches, early concept drawings for both characters and environments.
I don't think we realized at the time we were making the film what a groundbreaking film it was going to be in terms of visual design, the storytelling approach, and the musical style.
We got to go behind the scenes and really interact with an octopus. We got to feed the octopus, we got to kind of just let it come up to us and come around our hand, and we gotta feel it on us.
That thing is strong.
So the key to Disney's success comes specifically from trust. Disney as a whole, whether it's a clothing line, theme park, TV series, or films, has grown a reputation with very few of its consumers disappointed. And in every single film, without even realizing it sometimes, the music in the background forces you to feel. With the right melody at the right time and the scene set, emotions come out one way or another no matter how hard you try. One rule in storytelling in general is to make the audience care. Whether it's a character or the goal, if they don't care, they won't feel or become attached to anything once the character fails. So what do you guys think? Has there been a movie from Disney that just wasn't as good as the rest in your opinion? For me, watching Disney all my years, as many people have, it inspired me to become the writer I am today, creating theories speculating how the outcome of a story would go, from changing a decision of a character causing a chain of reactions, and even creating entire stories of my own with newly crafted worlds and believable characters. Disney has been known for not only the magic within the company as a whole, but it's immaculate storytelling. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
This is not Santa's workshop. It's just one section of a creative world where new attractions for Disneyland are conceived. And a few tears were expended on all this. But there's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into realities which become a part of Disneyland. It was a big year for the opening of many new attractions. Since they were opened, 7 million people have enjoyed them.